So our Bible study today is going to be about the book of Judges. And in the book of Judges, it was a time in Israel's history when they weren't really obeying God most of the time. Um, they would sin against God, and then God would punish them, and then they would try to turn back to God, but then they would fall away and sin some more. So they were kind of going back and forth, obeying God, not obeying God, obeying God, not obeying God. And one thing I was thinking about today as I was reading is that sometimes we read about people in the Bible and we don't realize that what they're doing, what we read about them doing, isn't actually what God wanted them to do. And one example of that in the book of Judges is Gideon. And God told Gideon to build an army and go fight the enemies of God. And you've probably heard the story. Well, Gideon wasn't sure that that's what he should do, or if God was really speaking to him. So he tested God, and he put out a fleece. He took a sheep's wool and he put it on the ground, and he said, God, if you really want me to do this thing, then I want you to make the dew on a form on the fleece, make the fleece wet and the ground dry. So God did that, and the next morning the fleece was wet, the ground was dry. Well, then Gideon said, well, God, if you really, really want me to do this, I want to put the fleece out again, and this time make the fleece dry and the ground wet. So the next morning, Gideon went out, and God had done that. The fleece was dry and the ground was wet. And a lot of people read that and they think, oh, well, then that's something that's okay to do. We can test God like that. But really, that's not the case. Gideon wasn't really trusting God like he should have. He wasn't obeying like he should have. So just because we read about someone in the Bible doing something doesn't mean that that's the right thing to do. And we have to make sure that we understand the whole story and that we understand whether or not those are good examples or bad examples for us. So, that's all I have for tonight. Love you. Bye.